What's up, y'all? It's Poppin' was cracking. It's D. Boss here. This Empressive ed is titled Beyonce ranked number one over Taylor Swift, and Taylor's fans are outraged. Khalid, Normani, Chloe, Holly. Of course, you're talking about them. I already reacted to a short video talking about this, and I gave my thoughts. But I definitely want to hear what Empressive has to say about this whole situation with the racist Swifties. But yeah, let's hear her thoughts. Let's watch.
Hello everybody, welcome to the Empressive channel. Before I get into this video, I've which Beyonce and started today. So Billboard decided to do the messiest thing ever. They decided to list who they think is the best pop star of the 21st century, and obviously their whole motive was to pit Beyonce and Taylor Swift against each other. So for a whole week, they built up this anticipation on who they were going to name the number one pop star. And of course, this created a lot of discourse and even some drama on social media, especially on Twitter/X. The stans have really been acting up on X. They've been acting up, and it seems like there's this energy between Taylor fans and Beyonce fans. Like, both fan bases are literally battling each other to see who they could prop up as their queen.
Y'all need jobs.
You know what I mean?
And
saying. Honestly, I think it's kind of dumb. I think the comparison is really dumb because Beyonce and Taylor are so different in my eyes. But I realize this is not even about music or artistry at this point. This is more so about what these two represent. And it's basically...
You know what? Let me shut up because I used to do this. I was definitely online when I was a teenager, arguing with people about, my favorite celebrities. I'm not going to say who because it's embarrassing, but I vividly recall being like in my early teens. If you are over the age of 20, then you're embarrassing. If you are officially out of the teens, you need a life and a social life. You need a job. You need hobbies. It's very embarrassing if you're over the age of 20 engaging in this, but or 19 rather. If you're 20 and up doing this, it's very embarrassing. But if you're a teenager, it's like, all right. We got our stupid time, so I ain't gonna talk shit about y'all.
Whole idea of this unattainable diva-like pop star, this queen supreme superstar that cannot be touched. At first, Beyonce was put in that position, and now you see Taylor Swift is being put in that position. And it almost seems as if the industry wants these two women to battle it out. They want them to fight for the throne, and their loyal subjects, aka their fans, are fighting on their behalf. And with this whole recent Billboard debacle,
I love that choreography. Oh, it eats.
They had a whole meltdown over some of the write-ups too. In fact, Taylor's fans started this whole Billboard is over party trend because they didn't like the fact that they included the fake explicit image of Taylor from Kanye's famous video in the write-up about her career. And many people called Billboard out on that. They also called out the chief brand officer of Billboard, Dana Droppo, because they felt like she had a bias against Taylor and other artists, and she favored artists like Beyonce. Now, Beyonce's fans, aka the Beehive, called out Taylor's fans for being hostile and racist. In fact, they started a whole trend called Swiftie racism, and they posted all of these crazy posts from Taylor's fans, like some of the most nasty, hateful posts and memes, and they had it trending to the point that some articles even picked it up. So it was a big thing. The Beehive was not playing around with Taylor's fans. Now, in turn, Taylor's fans responded by also starting a trend called Beehive racism and showed some offensive posts by also...
It's always the Asian people. Maybe that's the effect of eating dogs. You worship white, untalented people. What the fuck? She's talking about stealing the show. You literary curry Indian. Everybody's racist, bro.
So starting a trend called Beehive racism and showed some offensive posts that some of Beyonce's fans have made. So the whole situation was just a mess. And these fan bases have been carrying on for a full week up until Billboard announced who was the top pop star of the century. Now, Billboard ended up giving the crown to Beyonce, but it was kind of messy because throughout Beyonce's write up, they mentioned Taylor Swift like 16 times. It's almost like they had to pacify Taylor's fans for putting her at number 2 instead of number 1. So, this is some of what was said. While Taylor Swift is the century's biggest pop star by the numbers, from album sales to streams to touring dominance, our editorial staff has chosen Beyonce as our number 1 greatest pop star of the century based on her full 25 years of influence, evolution, and impact. I feel like they could have said the latter part without bringing up Taylor's stats because this was a write-up about Beyonce.
But I think they needed to say that actually because I feel like that was everybody's go-to. It's like, what? She got the highest selling tour. That's everybody's go-to. Everybody wants to bring up numbers that have nothing to do with you, by the way. Y'all are embarrassing. The people who bring up, oh, well, she got the highest selling and this. These are not your numbers, you bum. Go out and accomplish something in life and get some numbers of your own. Some accomplishments of your own. Run up your own numbers on whatever the fuck. But bragging on somebody else's numbers is so lame. Y'all are lame. My God, this is embarrassing. Anyway, so that's why they need to bring this up because that's going to be people's go-to. Like, what? Beyonce ain't outselling Taylor and that don't make sense. Da, da, da. They're like, no, we're going based on these metrics. So I get why they felt the need to do that. They were already predicting the backlash they were going to get.
So they should have just left it as that, but bringing Taylor into Beyonce's write-up kind of cheapens Beyonce's number 1 position. And the Swifties were upset that Taylor wasn't number 1, so the Billboard deputy editor had to come back and explain why she wasn't number 1. He said, but of all the artists who aren't number 1 on this list, Taylor was the only one who gave us like real pause. And a ranking number 2 isn't something that everyone on the staff agrees with. I don't think it's something that everyone in the room agrees with. She's got all the sales, all the Grammys, all the touring numbers.
Well,
all
who cares about this list?
One that puts her
what does it do?
Is that she gets off
it's a list.
Start. She doesn't release her first single until June of 2006. We probably mark her stardom to Fearless and specifically like Love Story becoming this massive global hit. So in other words, Taylor is too new to be number 1.
So
Beyonce gets it by default because her career spans for almost 30 years at this point. So, like I said, I think this cheapens Beyonce's number 1 spot. And I think Billboard is messy to stir up this debate in the first place because why are they...
I don't think either of them cares. I'm going to be honest with you. I don't think this is a make or break moment for either of them. I don't think they care. And that says a lot. Just think about this. Put this into perspective. Y'all are going at it in the comments and on Twitter and she's number 1, da, 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 over shit that has nothing to do with you and your own life and your own accomplishments. While the people that it actually involves are minding their business and living their own lives. Just think about that. Think about how sad this is on your part for arguing with people over this. It's embarrassing.
Trying to
get alive.
The number 1 artist of the 21st century.
That's right.
This century is not even over. We have
because I really want to hear more so
left.
her opinion.
So
she kind of gave it to us, but not really.
Come up, and who knows? They might surpass Taylor and Beyonce. I just think it's too soon to call, and I think Billboard did this to be messy and to get a rise out of people. And mission accomplished. It definitely got a rise out of people. But in my personal opinion, I do think Beyonce deserves the number 1 spot, at least for being the best pop star of her generation. I think she definitely has put in the work, and it's not just because. Is
Empressive a Beyonce stan? I think she is, or is she? I know she a Nicki stan, but I don't.
Longevity either. It's really because of her cultural impact.
Or has she been a Beyonce hater? I can't keep up. I don't know.
It's because of her showmanship and her constant determination to outdo herself, and also the way she has elevated the standard.
I'm trying to think of previous videos. I don't remember.
She has done all of that and has inspired many. She even inspired Taylor Swift based on her own words. So there aren't a lot of people who can do what Beyonce does. And this is not to say that she's the only one who can belt out high notes and do 16 counts and perform for 2 hours straight without slowing down. She's not the only one who could do that, but it does take a lot of discipline and conditioning to get to that level. And because of the amount of training and experience it takes, it's not going to be so common to see. Now, on the flip side, when I see an artist like Taylor Swift, I kind of feel like what she offers is somewhat common. And this is not to take anything away from her and what she accomplished. I do think Taylor is a great songwriter. She makes good music, and her selling power is out of this world. We haven't seen anything like it in this new era. So I do think she deserves her props for that. But what Taylor does in some aspects is a bit more common. What Beyonce does is not exactly as common. But those are just my thoughts on that. But I still think Billboard was messy for creating this whole drama in the first place. Billboard is messy. Now, moving on, I want to talk a little bit about some music and some performances. Chloe and Halle actually did a recent performance together at the Fashion Awards, and they performed the song Want Me, which is off of Chloe's album Trouble in Paradise. I love that song, and I really loved this performance. Honestly,
of course you did.
I think at this point, Chloe and Halle need to get back together. Like, they're so in sync. Their voices blend so well together. Their performance style is so theatrical. They just really have it. And I do hope that in the future, if they go on tour, they kind of use this same performance style. I like it. Also, Normani got a chance.
I think they separated way too early. I think they should have really built up their fan base before they tried this individual mess that they tried, because it seems like it was a flop. No shade, but that's just how it appears.
Chance to finally perform recently.
Girl, we don't want it. Years later?
Completely. She's such a dynamic performer. I really
Where are the videos?
To perform on stage, but she really showed out at that Spotify rap show. And she also did an R&B Spotify event not too long ago. So she slowly has been getting back out there, which is good, because I know she doesn't have a lot of support from her label like that. So her team has to do the best with what they got, because the budget isn't there and the priority isn't there either. So she's been doing the best with what she can. And I did hear that she also ranks at number 55 on the top streamed female albums on Spotify this year, which is a big deal considering she had no promotion, no videos, no televised performances, nothing. She gave us nothing. And I'm pretty sure, once again, it's her label not really giving her the leeway to do a lot of things. You know, they're the ones who have to approve of the budget and approve of all the releases. So she's doing the best with what she got. Now, I do want to also talk about Khalid dropping a deluxe for his album Sincere. He also happened to feature Chloe, Normani, and also Ira Starr on this deluxe.
I didn't like his album. I only like Don't Fall in Love with Me.
I got a chance to listen to it, and I will say it was very moody. Khalid does play with the alternative, kind of darker R&B sounds quite often lately. I do prefer some of Khalid's other projects, if I'm being honest, but I will say the 6 new songs he added on the deluxe was the perfect touch. It kind of breathed new life into the album, and I loved all the collaborations he included on there. I can't really pick a favorite, but I thought Ira, Normani, and Chloe really did their thing. I liked it, and I'm glad that Khalid is dropping his music and minding his business. I know he had a clout-chasing ex not too long ago trying to expose him, but nobody cares about that. Like, Khalid is unproblematic. And
Armand is so messy. I watched his videos. Oh, Armand cracks me up. Okay, he is messy boots. He was like right in the middle of all this for whatever reason. I watched the videos about it.
One thing he doesn't do is he doesn't use his personal life or drama or use foolish antics to promote his music. He's never done that, so he's not doing that now. For those who are wondering if he only created a PR stunt to drop new music, that's not the case. Khalid is not that type of artist. But anyway, tell what you all think about this deal.
Maybe he was involved in that, because you don't know him, girl. You don't know what type of artist and you don't know what type of man he is. So let's be clear, and what type of pressure he's getting from a label or whatever. So you can't say, oh, that ain't his style, he wouldn't do that. You don't know. Maybe that was a stunt. Who knows? It was hilarious though. But yeah, I just wanted to hear what she had to say about this whole Beyonce versus Taylor situation. But child, again, I don't think these women care at all. They're going to continue to be very successful and live their lives, and y'all are going to argue with people on their behalf. It's just sad. Anyway, y'all let me know what y'all think. Let me know what other videos you want to watch, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye!